Cody the Cougar is an 18-year-old male weighing about 145 pounds, and he was on our observation chart for stumbling when he walks. He was crossing one paw way over with each step, and so we decided to take him in to see Dr. Wen. She did blood tests and x-rays, and other than just really bad arthritis and what you would expect his kidneys to look at the age of 18, there wasn't much more wrong with him. So she adjusted his pain medications and put him on medications to take care of the inflammation from the arthritis, maybe loosen up his joints a little bit, and sent him back to Big Cat Rescue. Here you can see the volunteers and staff are unloading him from the van, and this is a 1998 van. We really need a new van, but it is the perfect thing for moving these bigger cages, like you can see, where we have to stick pipes in to lift the cats out and then carry them sort of in a Ark of the Covenant style into the cat hospital. So he comes inside the cat hospital to wake up, and then once he's fully awake, we'll take him out to his enclosure and turn him loose.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. And just set it there right inside. That's good right there.
We need a bigger hospital.
Yes.
Too many old cats. But then Jared will be in a puddle. Right in the puddle.
It's all good.
Okay. We're gonna have to do the same thing, getting them off that we did. You have to set it. You have to get it off right to the edge and prop that edge up, and then you guys get off. Yeah. And then you guys get off. Okay.
Ready?
Ready? Take it to this edge right here. All right. Set it on the edge right there. All right. All right. You guys get down. Now this end, you guys have to go straight in. Okay. Got it? Got it? Okay. Walk either side of this thing.
Oh, you're a cat.
He goes over the top. Slide the poles, set it down gently. All right, set the back end down slowly. All right, now pull the poles back. Not all, give them like, pull them back a little bit more. Okay, okay. Now get it a little bit closer to the cage. All right, that's good enough. We need to pull it this way though. Bring it this way, because this edge you need to hook on here. Okay. All right. A little bit more. All right. How's his toes feel back there? Set it down slowly. Slowly. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Should we try to move it a little more? Yeah, but we're gonna have to do it without the poles because we have to get this edge right up next to this. So the sheets down on the sides, and then everybody's gonna have to lift from up here. Get your fingers through and lift it, pull it up to the edge. Watch now slowly, so his feet aren't in there. Yes, that's fine. Where is that piece of wire? Well, no, actually reuse this piece of wire. So what we're going to have to do is, all right, so hold on, I got to unhook the top.
Do you have like a 2x4 or something that you could set up underneath it once you lift it?
I'm sorry, do what?
Do you have something you can put underneath it once you lift it up? Because he may not go straight out.
Well, I think once it's attached to the thing, we could set a pole. We could set the poles up underneath it.
Okay. Maybe that bowl.
Yeah, watch his feet.
Okay. Now he's
All
moving.
right, so Valerie, put that bottom down there. Okay, go. All right, now you guys lift back there. Let's get that back up there.
Watch it. His foot's out. His toes are out in the back. His back toes are down through the wire. See how he's clutching it?
Yep. Here. Just kind of, or here, just set it on that. Then that's fine. Might be better to turn that upside
If it
down.
breaks, though, get your toes in there, buddy. Come on. He's doing it still.
We'll hold it. All right, we'll just put it there for a second.
Get your toes in. I can't see your other toes. You just lay on your back for a while.
He needs to go more forward. Up.
All right, Valerie. I need you to lean it down just a little bit because I got a clip here I need to get off and I can't get it off with it tilted so high.
We've got the bowl
Toes
underneath now.
sticking out.
Let's get his toes.
So now we've got.
Well, can it come down? Can it come down a little bit?
Move
Yeah,
those.
it's like jammed on
I've got this one foot up, but I don't know where his other foot is.
When Cody went to the vet, he was sedated, so he was asleep and laying on a blanket. But on the way back, he did not have the blanket under him because he would chew the blanket when he woke up. So we had to take it out. But the grate on the bottom is such that we're worried that if we set it down, he might be so dorky that he doesn't feel his toes getting caught underneath. So we're having to keep the cage elevated a little bit, even though it's making it very hard to attach it to the lockout where we want him to go so that he goes back into his cage. So that's what all of this fussing around is. And what we've done to this cage since then is created a subfloor with a smaller mesh, so we won't have to deal with this again. But it was one of those situations where we had to do something about it while we were in the process of moving the cat.
Your eyes are shining. It's pretty amazing. You've got some amazing eyes.
Not gonna take it all off.
Not tonight. I'm not taking it off. It's secure. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Can he have access to his big den?
No, but he can. You can. Oh, the rope's right there. Let me get away from
He likes that little bed. Love to find him there in the morning. Okay.
water.
That would be lovely if you go in out of the rain.
Yep. Oh, he's going in a little bit.
Yeah. He loves that little bed.
Okay.
Good job, everybody.
Grab all. Yeah, let's go ahead and take the poles.
Yeah.
And then if somebody will grab that other bucket and that set of pliers there, we'll tear all this down tomorrow.
Is it your favorite time of day, Thurston?
Oh, good God. So snake and frog wrangling in a tiger cage. We locked TJ over because there was a snake in his cage. So they called me over to look at it to see if it was venomous or not. It's not. It's just a water snake. So it leaves the pond, goes into his cage. So now I've got to try to figure out how to get it out of the cage. Well, there's still a Christmas tree in his cage. So it goes over right under the Christmas tree and then finds a frog. To which it bites the frog. They can see the frog from the other side. And he's got the frog. So I'm like, well, at least he slowed down. We'll get him out with the scraper pole. So we get the scraper pole. We keep moving him and moving him. He's still got the frog in his mouth. The frog is still making noise, going every so often. So we get him over. Regina's got the scraper pole on him. I've got a bucket to try to get him into. We get him this close to the side. He spits the frog out.
What kind of frog?
That was a big leopard frog. Quite a large leopard frog, actually. So
I guess you heard that we have leopards here.
I don't know. So he spits the frog out, and the frog hops away. And I'm like, what? So we still gotta get the snake out. So we finally get the snake out. He comes out on his own, and then we just kind of guide him back down to the lake. So I'm like, okay, he's fine. Now I gotta go get the frog, because, you know, he's gonna die sitting in the cage with no water and all of this stuff. So I pick the frog up. The frog's got a little hole. He's, you know, his little lung pops out. I stick the lung back in.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all kinds of funness. Frog is still kicking. So luckily he didn't pee on me, though. I was very impressed. Usually you pick up a frog and they pee on you immediately.
I would think you probably peed all over the snake.
It probably did, but that's okay. So I take him over to the lake, and I sit him down on the edge, because at least, you know, a turtle or something's going to come on and eat him or something, you know, because, you know, he's got an injury. And he hops right off into the lake like there's nothing wrong with him.
Wow.
So, there you go. Matt said, well, you know, the tiger survived with the lung out. I said, yeah, but it's just a leopard frog, Matt.
And the snake will probably come back.
And the snake hopefully will come back and get him, and then the whole circle will come back. Yeah, it's a circle of life, not the Disney version. So.
Never a dull moment out
And I'm
there.
glad you were not there to film it.
I wish I had been.
I'm so glad.
I saw on the observation chart that there are wasps over by Apache and Divinity. Has anybody sprayed those yet? If not,
Not to my knowledge.
Wasp spray. They said it was by the lockouts. Are you the person in charge to go?
Apache and Divinity? No, but I can go by there on my way back.
Okay.
Apache and Divinity by the lockouts.
Yes. Thank you.
I will take care of it.
And I just ordered on Amazon a bunch of stuff like batteries and the smelly stuff that you plug into the wall, and 2 rolling cabinets. They're like these metal cabinets, but they're like stainless steel doors. They're not real stainless steel, but they look like it. And they're on big casters. So if you'd rather have those for your shed, if you need stuff to move around, I need 2 cabinets in here. So it's up to you whether they just come back here or if you want to swap them out for something.
You mean like in here in your office in here?
No, like in the main living room.
Oh, then they'll fit. I was like, where the heck are you going to put them?
Yeah, I'd like something in my closet, but I don't think anything's being fit in there.
Big Cat Rescue was a finalist in the Clearwater Chamber of Commerce Nonprofit of the Year Award.
We have the Medium Not-for-Profit of the Year, and it's sponsored by arguably the best-known aquarium in the world today, Clearwater Marine Aquarium, and the presenter is Frank Dane.
Well, we have 4 nominees. They are Big Cat Rescue, P.T. Rodriguez, Youth Foundation, the Valley College, and Big Brothers and Sisters.
Every once in a while, our Servals do something really strange, and we refer to it as that weird neck arching thing, where they kind of prance like a horse would, holding their neck up high and arched with their chin against their chest. It usually happens for a day or 2 and then goes away, but Nairobi, the Serval, was having about the worst case of it I've ever seen. So we took her in, did blood work, x-rays, all of the usual stuff, and of course can't find anything that we can treat. So she is being taken back out to her enclosure now by the volunteers and interns.
Abby, when you come in, you're going to put your end to this door right here. Watch
head and feet.
And then one more time back here. Watch your head and your feet. All right, Barbara, if you'll get on that rope. All right, so grab these little handles right here. And we're just going to scooch it up. Not too far because we got to be able to put the door down. Okay. All right, you got done. You guys will go ahead and step out. Yep. All right, Barbara, if you'll lower that.
Welcome home.
Out you go, Missy.
Hi, baby girl.
Come on, outie out, out. All right, go ahead and lower the door, please. Get this cage out. Go ahead and grab that side piece up.
Hang on. It's underneath. One.
You're not helping, Desiree. I know, all that excitement, you didn't get anything, huh?
Your neighbor has returned.
She's so pretty.
Okay. Well, I'll do it in a little while. Like I say, I need
This is
to.
downright funny, Gail. Look at all the snaps. Well, you look like you're trying to keep in an elephant.
Better safe than sorry. I don't want a serval running around the sanctuary because I didn't have enough snaps on the gates.
I think you have all the snaps on the gate. What's his paw?
Simba and Nyla the leopards are siblings, and so they had been separated many, many years ago to prevent breeding. We have since had each of them fixed, and when we nearly lost Simba recently, we realized that we should probably make one last attempt to introduce them back together so that in their old age they can comfort each other when it's cold, help groom each other as they lose their ability to care for themselves, and maybe really enjoy these last few years of their lives. So this is the introduction process that you're seeing here. Chris got a lot better video than I did, and he will be producing a much better video of their introduction soon.
up in that tall. Yeah. They used to live together. Yeah.
You both seem pretty successful. You know, well, no hoses.
Now you understand the issue I had trying to do it by myself.
Absolutely. And did you measure this one?
And the plastic surgeon will know what you look like when you had legs.
Is the one I got measured. Let me just double check, make sure.
Measure twice, cut once. I'm always wondering how you get sticks stuck in your mouth. Durr.
Even though Nyla has been playing it hard to get and acting aloof, you can see that she's rubbed all of the fur off of her nose in the last few weeks while they've had a howdy door between the two of them. That's a door where they can sniff at each other but can't really hurt each other. And she's been so eager to get over there and get next to him that she has no fur left on her nose. Hopefully it'll grow back. Now it's Simba's turn to pretend that he's not paying attention and doesn't care that Nyla is checking out all of his den spaces. One of the cool new additions for her is that he has a heated den because of his arthritis, and so we'll be seeing whether they both try to crowd into that den. I've heard reports that they've gone into the big underground concrete dens that are 8 feet by 12 feet and have been snuggling up in there, so that's been a nice thing to hear.
That is like the dumbest door on the entire property. I don't know what we were thinking.
Jamie was younger and smaller.
It was our dwarf door.
Yeah, she only had to be this tall to get in.
What Gail and Jeff have been working on is a lower platform that they can put next to Nyla's higher platforms so that Simba doesn't try to jump up or jump down higher than his little legs can handle anymore. So this will give him a boost up so that he can be up there with Nyla without the danger of hurting himself.
Are those that are over there sunk in the ground, or can you push it up against the wall so he doesn't bounce off the back end? I could kind of go either way. If he falls off the top one, I'd rather he hit the dirt than hit the platform.
Banjo the Bearcat was on the observation chart today because they said that he was acting lame in his back legs, You can see, even though he's standing up and rubbing his ears against the wire, that he's really having trouble getting around with those back legs. So we ended up catching him, taking him in for x-rays and blood work. But again, it was really a scary thing to do because Banjo's 23 years old. And everybody we talked to said, Bearcats can live to be, at the outside, 15 years, 16 maybe. So at 23 years, we're just freaking out.
Does it feel good? Yeah, it feels good.
No chop too small. The president of Big Cat Rescue mopping the floor because she's worried about whether or not the Bearcat's going to think it smells in here. Should we get some like popcorn smells for him?
We have a microwave.
I wonder if they like popcorn.
I think he's had it. Oh no, we said he couldn't have it. I think he may have had it in the past.
I just took a video of him standing on his back feet, rubbing his face all over the wire, but he is having trouble with his back feet, like he can't control them.
I took a video of it. He's like dragging, he's knuckling down. Dragging it. He said, well, you're going to want to put latex gloves on, so we'll do that when we get to the cage.
You want to explain to them why?
Up on top here. I'm sorry?
You want to explain to them why?
Oh, so what we're going to do is we're not really sure. No, she wants you over here. So.
Oh, sorry, so we're in the video, sorry.
So she can see her.
Don't put that nuts in front of your face, Anne.
So, we're not really sure exactly the wound on Banjo's side. We're not really sure what it's from or why or anything like that. So we're going to treat it like it is like a quarantine-based injury. Yeah. So we'll be wearing latex gloves and we'll bleach our feet coming in and out of his cage. Okay. So, so go ahead and put the nets up on the top.
I'm thinking taking the squeeze cage into the other section would be the easiest way, so we don't have to try and get him out of the lockout. But you'll need to get him all the way back.
Yeah. He's
so I guess
having such a hard time walking.
You can put him in the squeeze cage, or in the lockout. We'll just dig him out with a net if we have to.
Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. I know. Come on, sweetheart. Come on. We'll give you a little reward for coming out.
It's not entirely a trick.
Come on, handsome. I hope you more banana. It's very good. Get every drop. Good boy. Come on. Come on, sweetie. I know. I'm sorry. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, handsome boy. I know. Come on. That's a good boy. Come on, Banjo. Come on, sweetie. Such a good boy. Such a good boy. I know. There you go. Here's another reward. Come on, Banjo. Come on. Get you some more banana. Some more banana. Come on. Over here. Want to do the squeeze cage on the other side, or you just want to get him in his lockout? Okay. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, sweetheart. Come on, almost there. Almost there. Here you go. Here's a little reward. Here you go. Good boy. Good boy. Almost there. It's a long walk. Come on. Come on,
to drop it, or does Jamie have it?
Jamie has it.
Okay.
Come on. Come on, Banjo. Come on. Wait, is it big enough? Oh. It's okay. There you go.
He's ready. Hurry up.
We're not ready.
He's ready.
We're holding the door up off of his tail, so it's not hurting him any, but the problem is that he's just having a very difficult time turning around, and his tail won't fit unless he's able to do that.
He's gonna pull his tail now. Oh, don't touch my tail.
Maybe let's try the other direction. There you go. Yeah, let's grab the top here and let's just pull back a bit.
Do you have gloves?
Yeah, she's got gloves.
Good job, ladies.
How do you get a 3-foot bench run in a 2-foot cage?
Jimmy's like, I don't think he's gonna fit in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just his tail didn't fit.
We really need a bigger squeeze cage, but we just can't find one for less than $15,000, which is crazy.
Did you see her face? She's like, oh, crap, he's heavy. Her face just went. Sometimes you have to squish the air out of it to get it to spray.
Last week, your grandmother's lesson at church was about Jesus washing the disciples' feet.
Let's see.
Barbara's Jewish, so she may not know that story.
Yeah, it ain't squirting.
All right, hold on. Okay, so now you got to duck, lift a foot, hold it up, stand on one foot, and balance. And then lean on the other foot and balance, and duck your head.
What do I know?
Thank you. I was expecting it.
Well, that would have been in a perfect world.
Room 1. The far other end.
We won't know how to behave in a different room.
I know.
Number 5 is our room.
What is going on? Everything is different.
35.2 minus 67-ish, depending on its mood. It's anywhere from like 65 to 68.
And he's kind of knuckling down and dragging the right one?
Yeah. Oh, that's worse than yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday he did just that toe touching part, but he didn't, or Tuesday.
So
But
he's
he
like,
didn't
he keeps like pushing,
drag it.
he's like putting his weight on his heel of the other foot and then kind of trying to grab with his toes. That's the way we like it.
Okay, don't
So
be
we're
mad
gonna
at me.
inject him at.
Wherever I can find muscle.
Which I hope is along his back.
Stay down, Munchkin.
Okay, I would buy he's heavier than we thought.
No, the blanket's stuck.
He makes noises. He makes thank you noises.
It's stuck, but it's near the biting part. I'm not on a clip, but
20 minutes later,
I didn't even know where to get a hold of him.
that's really not even sure how to help. Help her hinder you.
Tail. Tail's
Yeah,
a weapon.
this is 10 pounds.
He's moving his mouth. But he's not blinking.
Okay, let's move it the way just a hair.
Let's send the mouth toward you.
Okay, let's see how much you weigh.
Get your hands off.
So that's really close.
34 and
I figured out his drugs based on 35-ish pounds, but then I rounded it down because he was 9,000 years old.
I don't know what to look for waking up, so good luck. I'll just hang on.
I wonder.
I'm gonna take pictures. I don't know where you get those fishing shop.
Some people that raise rabbits. So maybe someplace where we can play this one.
Wow. Have this like, a dog that would, or a cat that would be like yeasty stuff because they're skin, but on an animal with all the scent stuff. Oh, he's so skinny.
Does this fur feel as gross as I imagine?
Pokey,
Bristly.
pokey and bristly, but not down here. You know what is? Oh, I love it. I like this one. It looks. I mean, it does. It looks like a little monkey hand. Hello, little monkey hands. Were you here with Cody, Carol? No.
No.
When we bent his elbow, yeah, that's what Cody was asleep, but you got to a certain point and he wouldn't let me bend it. I guess I don't feel anything that feels obviously like a tumor. There's some big round something right there. Do you have to pee-pee? Oh yeah, you do have to pee-pee. I'm making you pee-pee all over.
What is that, dirt?
And he has spines like a cat. Yeah, crunchy. I wonder if Dr. Hay would do knee surgery on. Okay, his knee has a grind in it. Now, the lady at Carolina Tiger, whatever, the veterinarian said that their pads can get cracked and painful. I don't know that this is cracked and painful, but she said they increase the protein in their diet and that improves. Yeah, there's a grind here, and that was the worry is there's something under. Ugh. Do not extend.
Why could you
10 pin thingy.
What do you want me to do?
Take his tent.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, this is not good.
Oh.
That's what I was. I couldn't get my hands under it the other day. Not that I was trying, Carol, or anything, but that's what I was afraid of. Oh. Hey, Carol and a culturette off, I think, because it ruptured. Hopefully it is just a sore or an abscess that... Yeah, but why are you limping? That doesn't explain the crevice in your... Raccoon, sort of. I guess it is more kind of raccoony, isn't it?
Yeah, we looked at this raccoon the other day. It had really long, looked like fingers of a person. Yeah. When you look at them from underneath, they're so wide apart, you know, the membrane.
We can use them every bit as good as we can.
Yeah, they can.
Oh,
Is it urine?
his head. Talk about woolly. And if we had to, we would just squeeze him and dump him.
Close up the video.
Yeah.
So I should bring this cage.
Oh.
Like, could he live in his roof section?
Oh, that little square?
Mm-hmm. It's not that little. It's maybe the size of the cat hospital. Okay. The square footage of roofed areas?
Maybe he could just go home with Becky.
I know. I'm like, he could go home with me. He's like, this crazy little creature. Yeah.
But I know that
we'll see.
it's not usually easy.
Let's see.
When they're snapping at you.
Look at his jaws.
People sometimes forget, and they're like, ah.
I'm like, no.
Yay, thank you.
Can I leave this with you?
Huh?
Can I leave it with you?
So, okay, so here's what I think. We could send these to the lab and have them run them, and maybe they'll know what normals to use, but I don't think they will, honestly. We can run it here, but unless this wound is horrible, I don't think we're at a point of deciding to put him down, because he's happy and eating and doing his normal thing, but we need to control his pain, and there's not a break, so we need to restrict his activity. This arthritis in his spine is really bad, but I think it's more his knee that bothers him right now, and it makes sense to me now that he still climbs on that den box, doesn't he? But it makes sense that he doesn't go in trees and hasn't for a while, because he doesn't have flexibility in his spine anymore, and he's got arthritis in his knees. So, oh wow, he really isn't bendy at all. But that makes sense. So yeah, we need to scrub this Carol and clean it. Now we also need him not to mess with it, and really needs to be on something soft. So he might be going in the hospital, or that is the...
I don't think he can turn around, so he probably can't mess with it.
The concrete cage is not...
Well, I haven't seen him in the pen, but...
In the wild, they spend most of the time in trees.
Yeah.
Trees, but...
Can you get 3 mLs of Atrial? Sure. Where are we going to find a muscle to put that? Okay. And put a drain in it and suture it closed, and then we'll give him antibiotics. And
you want a little trauma back? You want
yeah.
For the next part of this, where she is debriding the wound and cleaning it out and stitching it, you may just want to shut your eyes, because it's really hard even for me to watch.
The reason we do this is the edges of this are so disgusting that there's no good tissue there. So we have to cut away all the yucky stuff to make the fresh, healthy tissue want to stick together. If I just slid those 2 yucky, disgusting edges together, the body's like, I'm not healing. Those we already sealed off. See this nasty edge? We're done with this. We won't come back together. So we have to do what we call debride, which is either cut, like really taking a blade and dragging along that, but sometimes that doesn't do a great job. So we cut back to good, healthy tissue that's bleeding. and then I can suture these sides together versus trying to make not healthy tissue want to stay together. So I wonder, Carol, if we need a drain. Oh, there's no pocket.
Maybe I won't open it until we figure it out.
Yeah, there's no pocket. And then we can send this in for culture. Oh, whoever sees this can be like, it didn't even have a hat on.
For this whole piece?
No.
Or are you just going to send that?
This is the culture.
It's the culture, yeah.
Ooh, like rubber. It's like calamari.
Right?
It does look like calamari.
Tough skin.
You know what? Maybe we'll.
I never ate that before, and I never will now. Thank you.
Yeah. So the question is, how deep is this?
I scrubbed it really hard, and it just didn't. Nothing else came up.
Okay.
So
we want.
But it's still greeny looking.
Yeah. We want. Okay. There's a.
Is there a pocket under there?
No, there's not a pocket, but there's a deep hole.
Are there two like bang marks?
No.
Get you the big try.
Problem is, there's like, I wonder if he got a puncture. I mean, he could have fallen on something, I guess.
His skin's so tough, it's hard to imagine.
Yeah. Let's see. Hey, Carol, can I have some 3-aught Max on as well? I'm going to have to put a sub-Q layer in here now.
He is breathing faster.
Oh, yeah. Golly. So, what I worry about is there something really deep in here that we're not seeing because his body's already tried to kind of, what they do is wall it off, and they put all the pus around it in an effort to take care of it on their own. One of the things that I read said Binturong, this was just some crazy person, said that Binturong's saliva has an amazing healing capacity, and they can heal their own nastiness.
Except you can't reach around back there. He's
Yeah.
breathing a little more.
Not so shallow.
Yeah, a little more rapidly. Like,
Okay, all right. Well, we're going
with all the
Wow.
scraping.
So,
I'm always fascinated by the stitching. You guys do that so fast.
they're like simple knots, but don't watch me tie my shoes because I apparently tie my shoes differently. But that has nothing to do with what I do now. So we want to kind of yeah. Probably not. I think we'll be okay.
Feeding Gasicum.
Well, that's what so the two people I talked to was one, the Carolina Tiger Rescue veterinarian, whose name escapes me now, but she was very nice, and she said they use tramadol and they use gabapentin and they use Metacam. So
Metacam is a good one.
Yeah, it's just if they have renal failure, then it's not so good.
good.
But if you're in so much pain you can't move, I'd rather have a shorter life than be miserable in pain.
If you're already older than any bearcat has ever lived in the history of bearcats.
Right. So
Sierra is only.
Well, we use Sierra in some of the bobcats. We have to have so much tissue removed, but
that really looks awesome though.
I don't think we have a choice on that. Growing in here. We need to keep this clean and dry. We could put the skipsters on watching him to make sure he's not trying to lick it, because it'll be a little uncomfortable. Tonight, he got his Baytril already. He had pain medicine in those injections, so he should be okay, but tomorrow morning he'll need probably more Metacam, and then we can even put him on tramadol. The tramadol is bitter, so that'll need to be hidden well.
Grandpa's knees. What about the, is he having incontinence issues or just?
No, his bladder was gigantic and it was soft and I made it pee.
Poor little guy.
But you know what we could do, Carol, just to make me feel a little better? Yeah! What's to me? This size on the end. Oh.
ibuprofen's wearing off.
Can she inject you in the jaw before we go?
This to you and get that under him so we can. Yeah, so that, you're gonna bring up. How much did you give him, Carol?
Where is it? Is it at 5 yet? I got 200 in him. That's about it.
Okay. That's good. Wow. Can I give you this? It's an open needle. Got it?
So,
What are you doing, Bobo? Let me listen to him again. I'm going to put his reversal in.
Do you see his nosy twitchy?
They twitch when you touch his nose.
Jamie's like, I don't want to.
Jamie's like, no, he was twitching his nose when he was on the gas too, like his nostrils go like.
Jamie, you got a lot of cords under your feet
I'm
there.
with you. Like, where are we gonna put all the? Okay, that's the reversal agent.
Did Jamie tell you the vet prescribed Peeps?
Yeah, well, Peeps are pure sugar. And
She said you might need it for the really bitter pills.
Oh, okay. But he loves bananas, so.
She also suggested a lot of different vegetables, like sweet potatoes and stuff, but he hardly has any teeth. They're just like nubs, and so maybe if they were cooked and had cinnamon on them, he would love them.
Okay, so turn around. Wait, turn around. Okay, set it down for a second. Pants back up. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. He's light, that's for sure.
He was 34 pounds.
We were close. Okay, so wait, set him down just a little bit first, because there's not room for me to lean all the way down. All right, now let's pick him up and slide him over. We need our little, let's slide that in there.